Hello! Welcome to another Tuesday Tips Add 2 with the Goldbergs. I'm Sarah Goldberg. Unfortunately, my husband Danny couldn't be here today. He's out fighting a big case in court and hopefully he got some good results for his client. And so hopefully he'll be able to join me next week for the Tuesday Tips. Anyway, today I would like to talk about what to do if you're an illegal alien or an individual living here in the United States and do not have proper immigration status and you are stopped by the police for a traffic violation. Many of my clients who don't have proper immigration status, they then lack having a Texas driver's license that's valid. Previously, many years ago, whether you had lawful immigration status or not, a person could still obtain a driver's license in the state of Texas. Unfortunately, that's no longer the case. If you cannot prove lawful immigration status, you cannot obtain a driver's license. Now, we know that many people here, especially in the Houston area, if they are an immigrant and they're here, many of them are here because they want to work. And so with Houston being such a big city, they have to drive to get to where they need to go. And with that becomes the risk of possibly being stopped by a police officer. Many of my clients are scared at the possibility of being stopped by an officer because they lack lawful immigration status. So we're going to talk about it today in respect to a traffic violation. When someone's stopped by the police, usually one of the first things they're asked for is to produce, one, their driver's license, and two, a proof of financial responsibility. That's actually the actual words that an officer needs to say. Proof of financial responsibility otherwise is known as insurance. So they need to show insurance, liability insurance in case they get into a car accident. This is what a driver needs to provide. Now, many of my clients, because they can't get a driver's license, usually it's very hard for them to also then obtain car insurance because many companies now require that you need to have a valid driver's license in order to obtain car insurance. But a client can't be stopped to just produce their papers. So instead, an officer stops them for a different reason, whether it's speeding, driving without lights on in the dark, and other such violations. So many times my clients who don't have any immigration status end up with 3 violations: lack of valid driver's license, not having insurance, and then finally a third reason why the cop stopped them in the first place. So I tell clients, please just answer the questions of the officer when it comes to the traffic stop. If they ask you to get out of your car, I respond with, why do you need to get out of your car? Because if it is for a violation in relation to speeding, then being asked to step out of your car for them to inspect, that it gets into a different area which may require a warrant. But if the person allows the officer to go and inspect the vehicle, then that could open them up for other criminal implications. So please, you have to follow what an officer says, but also it is okay to ask questions because you want to make sure that you're taken care of. And I understand it can be an uncomfortable situation to be in front of an officer, and especially if you don't have immigration status, but know that you still have rights and it's really important to protect yourself. With that said, once the traffic stop is complete and the officer issues a ticket to the driver, that ticket will have a date with a notice to appear for the individual who received the ticket to appear in court. And it's very important to go to court. The reason is because if the driver does not appear in court, they could be issued a failure to appear, which is another violation that's put onto the driver. Additionally, a warrant for arrest can be issued. When an immigrant doesn't have any legal status and they are arrested, especially in the city of Houston, what happens is once the case is complete, the reason for why they were placed into custody, whether it was one for failing to appear to court in this scenario, then afterward, once they're in custody, ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement, has a relationship with the city of Houston. So if someone is detained in the city of Houston jail system and they don't have immigration status, once their case is complete with the city, they are then sent to Immigration Customs Enforcement for deportation and that whole scenario. Next time we'll talk about deportation and what happens if you are arrested by an Immigration Customs Enforcement officer. How do you go about handling yourself to represent yourself and hopefully fight to stay in America? Thank you again for watching us with Tuesday Tips at 2. Unfortunately, Danny wasn't here, but we'd love to say, go Astros! They're in the World Series and we hope that they can win. Thank you.